Good day, friends. Maloa here, and today I'm coming to you from the Blue Theater in Minas Tirith. I've got some exciting friends for you to meet. GoblinFyre, they're doing a production of Wicked this weekend, and we'll be diving right in and hearing about this fantastic show that they're putting together for the community. Let's go. Welcome, welcome. It is so great to have you guys with us. Tell us about who you are and what you're doing today.
I'm Bijan Clay. Thanks, Maloa, for hosting. I'm the producer, so I've been honored to select the production staff with each with their own role. Get good people around you and you get good results. As a musical production combined with my love for music made music my first priority. So I named Jenkins of GoblinFyre to be the musical director. Unfortunately, he couldn't be with us today. I named Kalarian, Kay as we call her, as the writer and casting. And then I named Tanis as director, who also served as the stage manager. Then I turned the show over to the production staff. My job is done. Then I get time to look forward to our next show in the pipeline. That's a teaser, but I'm not saying. Oh yeah, I also am wearing a goat head and bleach the audience from the stage. Tanis and Kay are with us now so they can offer their remarks as well.
Hi, I'm Kay Lyrian. I did the casting and did the script adaptation for this. It's always a challenge to take a modern play and work it into LOTRO available emotes and actions that we can take. We don't get to have props or backdrops, so we have to make do with dialogue and action. But I think we've done a very good job, and I think everyone will be very excited to see the show.
Hi, I'm Tanis. I am directing the show and giving stage directions. Also am acting in the show as Fiyero. It's been a very, very ambitious project from the start. But I just think we have a great group of people that we've been working with that have just made it so much fun. And I think everybody's really going to enjoy seeing it.
Yeah, I know. I am definitely looking forward to it. I remember last year's Phantom of the Opera. It was amazing. And I can't wait to see this production of Wicked. So can you guys tell us a little bit more about when and where the production will be, and just a little bit more about the logistics of how everything is going to work?
We will be having 2 showings performed here at the Blue Theater in Minas Tirith Midsummer on Brandywine server. Midsummer is important because you want to get to the right Minas Tirith. Getting there, go to the stable at South Bree and take the Minas Tirith Midsummer. Once you get to Minas Tirith, take the stable master to the player's tier, turn left, and go all the way clockwise to the very end. Our show times are 8 p.m. server time on Friday, April 29th, and then again Saturday, 8 p.m. server time, April 30th. And that's on the Brandywine server. I recommend the best viewing is to view it live. We love the audience. We will have ushers set up to invite the audience to the correct layer because there will be a crowd here and it's going to layer. Also, for those in-game, I recommend turning chat bubbles enabled and your floating name tags disabled. One final thing, for those not able to attend in-game, it will be streamed live on Twitch TV XXJinkies XX.
Yeah, I'll actually be dropping that link in the description below. Can you guys give me a tour of the Blue Theater? I literally have only been in here once last year, so show me a little bit what happens behind the curtain.
So we'll go ahead and take you around a little bit. Right now you're on stage, of course. This is where all the great action happens. We picked this stage specifically because it's a very large venue to allow a lot of people to come watch, but also because the performing area is quite a bit bigger than any of the other stages that you find around Middle Earth. It also gives enough of room. If you see down right in front of the stage, there is an area for our musicians to stand for the great music that we have for the show. And if you want to come, we'll just actually run right backstage here if you want to walk right behind the curtain with me here. And we have our backstage area where all of our cast will be hiding out in between scenes. Hopefully, we can't see them peeking out around trying to see the show themselves, which they tend to do from time to time. But we have a nice area to group up back here if you want to come further backstage. That actually is quite a beautiful theater, and we've been fortunate to be able to use it. So we've got an area for us to group up before the show and in between the acts at intermission to make sure we run through all of our pre-checks and do our checklist, make sure everybody's ready for everything to happen. One other thing I can show you here is we've got a couple of large set of doors. Some of the action will actually be happening coming to you from the side of the stage, so if you want to keep coming around here, we have a nice area that we have guests visiting and enjoying the atmosphere. But we have a set of doors here where some of the actors will be coming in and out of at certain parts of the show. So we'll just loop right back into the stage area here. As part of the audience, the most important people we have coming here, I want to just point out a couple of things for the viewing area. Due to some of the special effects that we have that happen during the show, and because of the limitation for how far the chat bubbles go out, we do have a limited viewing area. We do ask that everybody please sit as best that they can within this area. So the best viewing area to see the entire show would be right about here for where the blue carpet is, which would be right in front of the musicians, and then extends back to about this line right here. So it doesn't go too far back, but there's plenty of room for everybody to sit and be able to see the show. We ask that everybody do remain sitting. You are more than welcome, and please, we welcome your applause during the show for the musical numbers, but during most of the scenes, just for everybody's ability to see and the best viewing possible, we do ask you to sit. But you're welcome to sit anywhere you like, but like I said, in order to be able to see the chat bubbles and some of the special effects that we have during the show, we would recommend standing or sitting about where we are standing right now, forward. Yeah. And not too much further over on this side as well. You can sit a little further over here, but make sure that you're sitting close enough to see the chat bubbles.
Yeah, I found last year when everybody was sitting, it definitely helped a lot. And then if you press F12, it'll make all the stuff disappear from your screen, but you'll still be able to see the chat bubbles. And then if you just zoomed in and you kind of tilt your camera up like that, you get a perfect shot of the orchestra and the players up top, and you can see the chat bubbles, and it really makes the play feel way more immersive when you do that than just trying to read the text that's popping up on say.
Right. One other thing I wanted to mention, since we're talking about the viewing experience, as far as adjusting your sound volumes, whenever you're in your audio settings right before the show, obviously make sure that you have player music volume set up. And I would recommend that you turn the ambient sound volume down so that you're not hearing a lot of the chatter that happens with all the patrons that we have here in the Blue Theater. But your master volume, player music volume, and sound effect volume should be up.
Okay, why don't you tell me a little bit about how the script came together and how the casting went?
Well, we took an original Wicked script and adapted it. And like I said, we have to work within the emotes that we have and the limitations that we have. But it came together really well. We have a lot of songs, so there's a lot of singing and dancing, which is going to be really spectacular. As far as casting, we have a fantastic troupe of actors, really great people to work with. Couldn't ask for a better troupe. I'm playing Elphaba. Tanis is Fierro, and Bijan is Dr. Dillamond. We have many other great actors who will be performing and doing their best.
A question that I had about the script in the chat bubbles is, do you guys have a software that you pre-program all of that in, or are people literally clicking and pasting something into the say command?
We're
So we use
using the Poetical plugin, and that allows us to have the entire script and the emotes already programmed into a file in Poetical. So each actor will see the other actors' lines in gray, and their lines are active and can be clicked. So as the show goes on, each actor clicks their line in time with the music and in time with the other actors' lines.
And then do they have to do the emote themselves, or does the software do it for them?
The emotes are programmed into Poetical, so they are able to click on a line in Poetical and the emote is then enacted.
Okay, excellent. But they still are obviously responsible for having the right costume on, being in the right spot when they're supposed to be there, and all of that.
Exactly. We worked very hard at the blocking. Tanis did a lot of work with us to make sure everybody's standing in the right place and that we all, have our right costumes on. There are quite a lot of costume changes. And also because this is a very big cast, but we only have so many people. So a number of people are tasked with having more than one role in the show, and they change costumes to indicate that.
Okay, okay. And if anybody wanted to be part of the next show, how can they get involved?
or
We would
in-game.
love to have more actors, so
Yeah.
they can contact Bijan, me, Tanis, in-game tell, in-game mail. However they can get a hold of us, we would love to hear from them. It really is a lot of fun. It's a time commitment to some degree, but it's an enormous amount of fun, and we all have a lot of camaraderie and good times.
Cool. Tanis, can you tell me a little bit more about the time commitment? How long have you guys been practicing? How frequently?
Yeah, sure. So we try to make it as accessible for everybody as possible. Early on, there is just one rehearsal per week, which usually happens on Tuesday evenings. That's not to say that it would be that day for other shows, but we choose one day during the week to have a rehearsal, and it's usually a couple hours long. And for this particular show, we started rehearsing back in February, the beginning of February. So that's how long that we've been working on this. Now, closer to the show time, we do have usually a couple extra practices, especially during show week. We have 2 dress rehearsals that happen this week. We had 1 dress rehearsal yesterday, and we have 1 more dress rehearsal before the show on Friday and Saturday. So there is a lot of work and effort that people put in. So you do want to make sure if you're thinking about joining for a future show, we would really, really love to have you. It's a lot of fun. We will help you to learn how to do these things, and of course just make sure that you're available for the rehearsals and the show. But I think it's just a great experience. We need cast members for any roles. I mean, we've got small roles if you just want to be a small part, larger roles. There's all kinds of roles and ways that you can help in the show. And speaking of just like all the other stuff that goes into it, even before we had our first rehearsal, there was quite a bit of work that went into this show. As Kay mentioned, she adapted most of the show, and we had help from Mally and others to take a look at the script and get it down to where it's something that we could actually perform inside of a game. And all of that work actually started at the end of last year, in December and in through January. So there were many months of work and preparation that went into getting the show just ready to send out to be able to even practice. So I want to just give some recognition there for the effort that went into that, and just to get us to the point where we could have a show to put on.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I remember last year watching Phantoms, I was just blown away by the amount of quality that you guys were able to produce, and I knew that just came from hours and hours of work, and that really, really impressed me. So I'm really looking forward to this show because I think it's going to be phenomenal. So let me ask you, what was the trickiest part for each of you in putting this production together?
I'll go first. So for me, multi-boxing 3 tunes on stage, 2 at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a real challenge for me. And this is my shameless plug that Tanis said, and I'm going to say it again. We need more actors if we want to keep doing this. Another part that I found very, very tricky trying to deal with is if you turn around and look, Malala, that's a very, very bright backdrop. And the chat bubbles just kind of wash out with that backdrop. And combine that with a static set that we really can't change anything in here. So that's been a challenge as well to try and get the effects and show that indeed we do have a scene change. We can't change the set. So I found those to be the 2 most challenging part of making this show work.
How about you, Tanis?
Well, the whole show itself was actually a pretty big challenge. It's when we did Phantom last year, that was also a pretty big undertaking for something that honestly had never been done before in a game like this. For to do a show of that scale and that size and put it together the way we did, so that was honestly have to give Bijan and GoblinFyre a lot of credit for even just coming up with the idea to try it and see if it would work. And I'm very happy to say that I was involved with that as well, and I thought it was a great experience. So to come into it, by the way, sure. And so when it was announced that we were going to do Wicked for the second show, Phantom was pretty complicated, but Wicked is just on a whole different level of complex. And as far as how big the script is, how big the cast is, the complexity of the music, and just all those components together to get everything to work all at once the way that you want it and put together something where the audience can enjoy it, it is a pretty big challenge. So we had a big task in front of us. I honestly think that we had the right people here to be able to do this. From the music director, Jinkies, we have outstanding music in this show, so you're going to see from everybody who put the music together, from everybody who helped with coming up with ideas for costumes, to people helping with the ushering and some of the special effects that we have, just all the different aspects and bringing it together, putting it all down on paper and saying, okay, we have to have an idea how we're going to do this, and then finally putting it into action. So it was a challenge, but I have to say, I really feel very, very fortunate and humbled that I was asked to come in and help tackle such a big project. And I've had so much fun doing it, but we could not do it without everybody who was able to pitch in and do their part. Every single actor that we have has stepped up, and really you're going to see, and when everybody watches this is going to see the amount of work that went into making this look the way that it's going to look. And I also, while I'm on the subject, just want to say that specifically for our 2 stars of the show, which is Kay, who is playing Elphaba, and Primi, who is playing Galinda. The 2 of them have just taken on such an immense amount of responsibility for the time that they are on stage, and they've really carried the show. And I just want to say I couldn't be happier. I think everybody's really going to enjoy seeing their performance.
So who worked on the music the most?
The music was arranged from MIDI files to ABC format, compatible with the LOTRO in-game instruments. We had members of GoblinFyre, as well as Tanis from Dragonforge, collaborated to arrange the full playlist. I think the play at Broadway had 26 songs, and we were able to come up with 21 of them, which is pretty pretty amazing. So there were a couple songs that we could not find. So, but most of those MIDI files originated from haminet.com. And I can give you that link as well. That's a plug because it's an ad-free site for MIDI downloads. They do accept donations to keep the ads away, and I've used them quite a bit. And then we had a couple songs that were professional MIDI files that were purchased to fill a couple of the gaps. So the music is what sold me on this show.
So how many people will be in the orchestra?
We have 8 and 9 parts, 8-part and 9-part songs. But in an emergency, we may have to go down to 7. We can get more players. We took 3 of the players out of the orchestra and put them up on the stage because we're looking for actors too. I would rather play the music, but they put me up on stage.
So how many total in the cast?
I'll just say we have a total of 12 actors that play multiple roles, and then we have 5 or 6 musicians that perform, and a number of other people who help out in the behind the scenes as well. And I just want to give a shout out to the people who volunteered to do the ushering, people who volunteered to do our some of our special effects. So all said, we have a cast and supporting cast of about 22 people.
Ooh, you guys are doing special effects this time. Can I get a little preview of a special effect?
Some of the special effects that we have require a little bit of preparation, so we wouldn't want to give away the best parts of the show, but obviously we got some effects here. Yep.
Awesome. Perfect. And then, Kay, what was the trickiest part of all of this for you?
Well, I have the biggest role, and not because I'm casting director, but because I couldn't get anybody else to do it. And so learning all the songs, learning all the stage blocking has been a challenge. And from the casting side, the challenge has been to ensure that each actor has all the resources that they need to be able to do their very best show. We have a very diverse crowd. We have people from literally all over the world. We have people with various abilities. And in each case, we've ensured that that actor has the part that suits them and the resources to do their very best at that part. In some cases, that's meant extra rehearsals or various accommodations. Some people can't talk in Discord, etc. So what I find gratifying is being able to help bring out the very best performance from each actor and also make sure that they're having a really good time.
What has been the most rewarding for you in this entire experience, and how has that helped you grow as an individual?
I'll go first. You know me, Malala. I play LOTRO for the music first and the camaraderie of the like-minded players. This is just so uplifting and inspiring to me to be with such talented individuals, both on stage, writing the script and doing the music. And that's why I just keep coming back for more. And one of your questions, did we ever want to pull our hair out? Let me just say we're all still friends.
Well, that's definitely a token to how well it's going then.
Well, for me, I mean, it's been a rewarding experience from the very beginning. I would say one of the great things about doing a show like this is I was always a fan of Wicked. I love the music. Everybody who is a fan of musicals has probably heard the music if you haven't seen the show. But one of the great things about doing a show and just really getting into the script and rehearsal after rehearsal is you really get to know the story, and you get to know really what it is that makes this such a great show. And I think it's fitting for us to do the show on a platform like Lord of the Rings Online, just because really one of the things about the show itself is that it's about how friendship and love it is not always conventional. It just takes a look at things where it whenever things don't actually turn out the way that you think they should or you thought they would, that there's some hope and perseverance. A lot of storylines that deal with just people coming together for each other, and that's something that I think really drives the community in Lord of the Rings in general, but especially with the music community, where we have people who are here for each other, and it's an unlikely place in some ways where you would find this many people come together to be able to do something this big. But once you get to know people, it's really not surprising at all. But just to see the unconventional friendships that have come out of this has been extremely rewarding for me.
For me, the best part is how everyone has their own take, their own ideas, their own approach to things. And so this collaboration has been a fantastic experience. And we couldn't have done it without each and every actor and their willingness to put in their time, their blood, sweat, and tears, their energy, their enthusiasm. All of this has made it enormously rewarding for me.
I wanted to say a little bit about the inspiration behind this.
Yes.
The success about half of this crew had with Phantom, and we wanted to set the bar higher. I'm very proud of this production staff and the cast at large, and this show will wow the audience, and they're going to be begging for more. And yes, we have the next show selected, but I'm still not saying. But I want to tell Kay and I can relate a little story on the genesis and evolution of this acting troupe that we've put together per se, and it goes all the way back to Premi saying something to me at one of our Halloween concerts where we had put together a playlist and 3 of the songs were from Phantom. And I said, wow, we're playing 3 songs from Phantom. We should play all of it. And then Kay heard it, and I'm going to let her carry the story for a little bit.
Yeah, I wanted to sing the lyrics to all the songs and maybe even do a few emotes to it. And then Jinkies took over and said, let's do a whole show.
In the theater, and I jumped off a balcony, and here we are. So the other thing I want to talk a little bit about, if you have time, is we pushed the cast out, or the scripts out. We did the casting call. We pushed the scripts out, and I think this gives a reflection of how dedicated the cast is. We pushed it out, and we asked them each to personalize their own scripts to identify who their character is. So they put emotes in, they put dances, they did their own costuming. I think the only costuming guidelines we had was we wanted bright green for the Emerald City scene. And after that, all the costuming was individual. And the story there, it wasn't scripted this way, but Dr. D, as myself, is in a scene with Glinda Premi, and Glinda slaps me. And I didn't find out that she had personalized that script until dress rehearsal yesterday. Totally caught me off guard. I'm going, what? She just slapped me.
Perfect.
I'm really happy with the way that everybody in the production staff and the cast has put their energy in and personalized it all, and we're just looking for a total break a leg event here.
Now remind me again. Last year you had like 80 people in the first showing, right?
I think we had 80 people in the first show, and this is a really behind the scenes in that first show, right when May playing the Phantom is ready to, he's hinted at the show. He's showing, off to the wings, and then when he's coming on stage to make his grand entrance and sing his song that Phantom has actually made an appearance, and my client dropped. and poor Rav, as Christine was up on stage by herself. What do we do now? And it took me 3.5 minutes for my client to reconnect. And when I reconnected, I popped in right at the stage where I dropped off, and the timing was perfect. Like, we couldn't have planned it better, because that's when I started singing. So
you magically appeared out of nowhere.
Yep. Anyway, that's just part of why we do rehearsal, and we try and get all these jitters out of the way. And the show is going to be what the show is, and we're all going to have a ball. The show will be hosted at the Blue Theater, Minas Tirith Midsummer, on the Brandywine server. The show times are Friday, 8 p.m. server time, April 29th, and Saturday, 8 p.m. server time, April 30th. We will be spamming World with invitations to if you need invitations to a fellowship to get to the appropriate layer.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time today to be part of this interview. I am so looking forward to the production. I will be there Saturday night, so I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Malala.
You guys are
Thank you, Malala.
so welcome. That concludes today's adventure. Please hit the like and subscribe button to not miss an episode. Thanks for watching.